What is up, everybody? Skratch coming up with another Raid Shadow Legends video. We are back at slaying that HYDRA clan boss. In today's video, I'm gonna showcase one of the best HYDRA clan boss teams out there that survives an insane amount of turns and can deal crazy damage on Nightmare, okay? This is an endgame guide. It's not free to play friendly. I'm just letting you know before you watch the video. Some of these champions can be replaced, some of them cannot. If you're curious to find out, stay and find out throughout the video. But the main idea, guys, is that this team can work on every single difficulty as long as you have the right champions to make it work. This started with a takeover, okay? So if you want to find out more about how I build the team, the whole process behind it, I'll be leaving the link to my Twitch stream in the pinned comments if you want to check it out. So talking about that, okay? Geomancer is the sensation since the so-called nerf, okay? He's the ultimate boss slayer for Doom Tower, for HYDRA. He's just amazing. He's so much better than what he used to be before the so-called nerf. I said it before, when that happened, he actually got a buff. But hey, people didn't agree on it. Here we are a few months later. He is just the GOAT. He destroys everything, okay? But if we're going on the run, guys, I'm going to show you the builds on the champions in a second too. If we're going in the run, this is the team that we used. So for whoever is familiar with the cheese team from the past, okay, that worked in the very first week with Geomancer before they nerfed the Deterrence Mastery, you have the leader that gets the turn meter boosted constantly, okay? It took quite a bit this run because I was very distracted while I was doing it. I was kind of multitasking, and honestly, I was supposed to probably finish this in 25 minutes. It took me like 48 minutes. It's still a team that takes you quite a bit, so it's a team that it requires you to manual. So the whole idea behind this team is kind of like a 200 IQ strategy here. Geomancer, the sensation, doesn't need a Vizier in here, doesn't need to have Relentless, doesn't need to have Reflex Gear or any other shenanigans. You need Shamael to be in the team in order for this to work. So Geomancer, Shamael are not replaceable, okay? Hands down. You can replace Lydia with Venus, with a different defense down champion, with the Tomb Lord, and then you can replace Krisk as well. Tomb Lord is the best attack down champion for this, because even when the head of Blight puts the Toxic Cloud up on the rest of the heads, it doesn't need to attack to land the attack down. So you have a Tomb Lord in Relentless, you get some poisons on some of the heads that can be affected by it. You get decreased speed from the A1 and a Giant Slayer. Of course, it doesn't compare with Christ. You're not gonna get the same results, but you're gonna be able to get a pretty decent 1 key if you're retrying a few times to have good RNG. Husk can be replaced by a Royal Guard, or it can be replaced by... that's about it. That's about it. Husk, Royal Guard, enemy max HP. Unfortunately, they're not enough out there. Lydia, again, Venus, Draco, but Draco is not that great because he doesn't bring that much to the table. He doesn't hit when he lands the debuff, so he's gonna deal less damage. He's pretty squishy. Siphi, on the other hand, you can replace her with a different champion that has increased defense, block buffs. That's kind of like the whole idea with her. A revive is great, do not get me wrong. I'm not reviving much in this team. It's kind of taking me to get towards the end of the fight when I actually start reviving. Probably I revived in the entire fight 4 times, I think, at maximum. And that was Krisk, because he was landing the ally protection and he was getting wrecked sometimes. The good part about this team, guys, okay, we're focusing the head of Torment. We're boosting the turn meter constantly on Geomancer. So like that, we are able to keep HP burn on every single head except the Torment head, because we want that head to survive a bit longer. But still, at the same time, we want to kill that head before the rest of them, so it's a higher chance for that head to spawn again. If it doesn't spawn again, it's not the end of the world. I still got to 35 million damage yesterday without that head spawning again, but was a bit of a struggle, okay? What I like about this team and why do I think it's better with Geomancer and in this format without Duchess, better than the other team with the 2 enemy max HP hitters that I made before, I feel like this team is more reliable, at least on this rotation, okay? I feel like I'm not struggling with RNG as much. I don't have to give a damn if the cleanse head comes out and this can happen and that can happen. I find this team more reliable in terms of RNG. But how I specified, this is straight manual, not straight auto whatsoever. I tried it with Venus instead of Lydia and was a bit harder. It was a bit of a struggle because I don't have the strengthen from her. She's not as efficient, okay? So if you're gonna replace all the champions except the two of them, you're probably not gonna get a 1 key on Nightmare, okay? Just to let you guys know. It's very important because with Lydia, Krisk, and with Sifi, I control the Head of Mischief. The most annoying head on this rotation is the Head of Mischief, because if he's gonna steal my immunity and he's gonna spread it around, it's gonna be a problem, you know? So that's kind of like one idea. I have resistance on Krisk, Lydia, and Sifi, while the other champions, they don't. But you see, I constantly have HP burn on every single head. The only champion that I have on Relentless on this team is Husk. So if we're gonna move a bit more in front here, you see, that's how the HP of the heads comes. I'm still taking this head down around the first one, or he might be the second going down. And let's see a bit what's happening here. We actually got lucky and it spawned on this side. But the main idea was we killed it. This one spawned the first time, was not the right one. It's fine. I'm not gonna go and back out. I'm gonna continue to go and do the fight, you see. But we have very good damage for the turn count. And if we are looking around, HP burn, HP burn. This one doesn't have HP burn just yet. I placed it on this one thinking that, okay, this is gonna be the champion that's gonna devour... this is gonna be the head that's gonna devour my champion. But I miscalculated a bit and was this head. So, it doesn't have HP burn, how you guys can see. So I'm a bit like, oh, damn, I ripped it off there. I made a mistake. But I managed to recover from it. It was not the end of the world. That's what I'm saying, like, it's not as bad. When the cleanser head comes out, you can still keep the HP burn. I'm gonna fast forward in a second and I'm gonna show you. The only problem with the previous teams, without having this format, was that the cleanser head, at least for me, I had so much bad RNG, guys, I do not know how to explain you, was always shielding the goddamn head that was devouring my champion, and I just didn't have enough firepower to free that champion out. And it happened 50, 60, 70 times in the last 2 weeks since this rotation came out. Sometimes I got so frustrated that I don't know what I could have done, honestly, if the person who designed it was in front of me. But if we move a bit forward, we're gonna see that the cleanser head comes out. So we lost the blue head at around 32 million damage, and we can still go on. It's so good to know that you don't have to rely on RNG, just which head is spawning, what's happening. It's good to know that you can actually push with this team a bit higher to get to that 1 kill. Of course, it helps a lot if the blue head, the Head of Torment, spawns, don't get me wrong. It's much better. That's how I was able to achieve so much damage, because he actually spawned again by the looks of it. I actually forgot that he spawned the third time. But we are able to go and deal pretty serious damage. So we survived a very, very long turn count. Again, we killed the head and a different one spawned out, and we're still going from here. Turn 129. Now, the only problem here, guys, when you're at such a high turn count is that they're devouring your champion every 5 turns, 4 turns, 3 turns. You just don't have the chance to free them anymore. Like, they designed it so you cannot exceed the turn count by any means, because they're literally gonna devour your champions constantly. Non-stop, they're taking your champions out. So if we're looking, if we're checking this out, you see 6 turns, then it's gonna go down to 5, I think. Let me just see. Even when he cleanses, you've seen we had the cleanse head here for quite a while. We're still able to keep the HP burn on 3 heads at the exact same time without a struggle. And it just moved to 4 turns, I think, right? So it's just crazy how fast they devoured your champions from here. We survived up to turn 157, guys. 54 million damage. Very, very good damage out of this team. I'm super impressed with it. And I like that the RNG is not there as much as with the other team. But if we're gonna have a quick look at the builds on the champions, we're gonna start with Sifi, since she's the fastest champion in the team. And that's the build we have on her. 70k HP, 3.7k defense, 282 speed, 600 resistance. The masteries are not for clan boss, they're arena masteries. If we're looking at Krisk, it's the same build I showed you before. I actually haven't changed nothing on him. 67k HP, 3.5k defense, 43k HP, 510 resistance, 400 accuracy. Now, you want to have that 500 resistance, guys, because if you have under 500, the Head of Mischief has around 10% chance to steal your buffs instead of 3. So it can be pretty annoying. You want to make sure you're keeping that head under control. He's not on a damage build. If I would have him on a damage build, I would probably be able to achieve some better results. Wardmaster as tier 6 and support 3 on him. I could go with counterattack masteries on some of the champions, boost that Thermitter a bit more, but I don't find it a necessity. Moving over to Lydia, pretty much the same thing. I haven't changed her since I showcased it ages ago. Regeneration set, a resistance set, total stats 56k HP, 3k defense, 256 speed, 487 resistance, 377 accuracy. I have a blood shield accessory on her to make sure the Head of Mischief is focusing her at some point as well. Masteries, the same like Krisk, very similar. Tier 6 War Master, support 3. Moving over to what other champions we used in here. I showed you the 3 legendaries. Then we have 3 epics. So I think the next one is going to be no one else but where is he? This one. And he's actually with War Master. I was so curious if he had Giant Slayer or War Master, honestly. But he is with War Master. Now, you can change him with Giant Slayer. You're just gonna kill the Head of Torment a bit faster. That might not be the best idea. But I have him on a regeneration set and a speed set. I have him built for a bit of damage. He can help me out with the A2 in case if somebody devours my champion and I'm at that limit of freeing the champion, he could come in handy. But I have 49k HP, 3.7k attack, 2.8k defense, 236 speed, 100 crit rate, 142 crit damage. I actually went for a bit of survivability on him over damage, you know, so I don't have attack chest pieces or anything like that. Masteries, we've seen them. I actually have the defense 3 on him and offense. I haven't changed the masteries since before when he was in the cheese team. Then we have no one else but the superstar of the show, Geomancer. These are my masteries on him. I actually have Cycle of Magic. I have Arcane Celerity, Sniper, that's mainly for the A1. And of course, Master Hexer to increase the duration of HP burn sometimes. War Master as tier 6, Life Drinker. And in terms of build, Regeneration set, no Relentless, no Reflex. I do have 2 Refresh accessories, which 10% chance, sometimes they proc, sometimes they don't. But total stats, 48k HP, 2.7k defense, almost 2.8, 246 speed, 381 accuracy. Literally, that's all that matters on him. Put him in the lead. Shamael from the back is gonna boost him and is gonna ensure that you're always gonna have HP burn on the heads, no matter what head comes at you guys, okay? And we have the last one, and which one is it? Husk. It's the same like I showcased him in the previous videos. Relentless set. I have a refresh accessory on him too. Total stats, 69k HP, 2.3k defense, 242 speed, 100 crit rate, 241 crit damage. Masteries, I have support and offense, tier 6 War Master. I have Cycle of Magic. And that's about it, ladies and gentlemen. I could go with counterattack masteries, retribution, deterrence on the rest of the champions, kill the Head of Torment faster, change masteries, spend gems, next rotation do it again, but I'm not up for all that. That was all for this video. Hopefully it's gonna help some of you guys to improve your teams. How I specified, Tomb Lord can be great instead of Krisk. Duck the Pierced, Stag Knight not really the best choice. Madame Series instead of a Lydia, a Venus, a Draco. If you bring a champion that has attack down and defense down, you can completely drop the weaken. You don't need it necessarily, and bring in another support champion, either that revives, either that gives you immunity, so like that you can replace Siphi without having a problem. The two champions that cannot be replaced, Geomancer and Shamael, because the whole team relies on this strategy. That was all for this video. Much love, appreciate all of you guys watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.